Buckle up because we're reading Ecclesiastes chapter 7 today, and it is unlike any other chapter we've read before. Solomon, the author, in the first 6 chapters is talking about how everything is meaningless under the sun. We have that word hevel that we talked about. It's breath, vapor, smoke, things that we can't grasp onto. So wealth, accolades, achievements, money, status, all of the things that we can try to get and work for, and all of this stuff, it doesn't matter. Life is meaningless without God. And in this chapter, we're given very, very practical ways to live in this life that is meaningless. This is how we're to live. And we're going to skip to verse 14 for a second because it is one of my favorites in this chapter. It says, when times are good, be happy. Other versions say, be joyful. And that seems super easy, right? When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider, pay attention, think about, focus. God has made one. He's made joyful, happy, celebratory moments, as well as the other. Also allowed us to go through things. This connects to verse 3, where it says, frustration is better than laughter, because a sad face is good for the heart. And you're like, why would frustration and being sad be good things? When we go through hard things, it helps us to prioritize. It makes the main thing the main thing. The important things, all the secondary things, they kind of just go to the wayside. Adversity and hard things help us to realize what we believe about God and also who we are. So where do we turn to when life is hard? Do we complain? What is our attitude? What are our eyes fixed on? When you're going through really hard things, you stop wasting energy on the things that don't matter. And you start focusing your time and attention and your priorities on the things that really do matter and really do need your attention. And I don't know about you, but I have learned the most about God and grown in my faith the most and learned more about myself as a person when I'm going through hard things. It's just naturally what happens. I think this whole next section is talking about humbly depending on God because it talks about how we should have this balance. Like, have wisdom. Wisdom is good, but don't be too wise, but also don't be too ignorant. Don't be too hardworking where you're striving and achieving and doing all of those things, but also don't be lazy. We have to find the balance of life, and I think that's where contentment lies. And Solomon tells us how to do that. In verse 18, it says, whoever fears God will avoid all extremes. Whoever fears God will avoid all of this, but also all of this, and just walk this line of fearing God, of loving God, of obeying God, of being content with the things that God has blessed us with. Verses 20 and 21 hit me really hard because it says, there is no one on earth who is righteous, no one who does what is right and never sins. And this connects to Romans 3. Solomon and Paul over generations are talking about the same thing. There is no one righteous. There is no one that doesn't sin. That doesn't mean that we have to be like, oh, well, I'm going to sin. So whatever, God forgave me, I'm just going to keep sinning. It means that we know that we are sinners in need of a savior. And the goal isn't perfection. The goal is dependence. And we do this by fearing the Lord. I love verse 18. Love it, love it, love it. And verse 21 is just a challenge for me. And it might be a challenge for you, all my people pleasers. It says, do not pay attention to every word people say, or you may hear your servant cursing you. Do not pay attention to everything people say. What I will say about this is I think that you need to pay attention to the things people say of the people you trust. I pay attention to what my husband says because there's truth and love and grace in it. I pay attention to what my best friends say because there's truth and love and grace in that. But if I took everyone's opinions and molded and changed myself and gave so much attention to it, I would be a totally different person. And this is hard. This is something that is, I don't know, should probably be a life verse for me because I am a people pleaser. I do care what people say. I don't want people to be mad at me. I don't want people to think negatively about me. But sometimes you just can't control those things because people are going to think what they're going to think, and they're going to believe what they're going to believe, and they're going to read into situations, and that is just on them and not on you. You need to know who you are as a daughter or son of Christ, somebody who is freed and redeemed and loved, somebody who is new but not perfect, who is changing. And so yeah, take some of that advice. Take some of those opinions, take some of those words to heart, but they have to be the right ones. And I'm not going to lie to you, verses 25 to 29 got really confusing, and I was like, what is happening? If you zoom out, Solomon is talking about something really important. I do not want you to read this as like a gender battle, because he does bring up women. He has searched, investigated, and chased wisdom his entire life. And what he has found is people are marked by sin. When he says in verse 28, I have found one upright man among 1,000, but not one upright woman among them all. It's not a statement of superiority and inferiority between the genders. It should really show us how rare true wisdom and true integrity is in a fallen, broken world. And why do we know this to be true? Because he writes about it in the very last verse of this chapter. He says, this only have I found. God created mankind upright. So there was nothing wrong with God's creation. It was beautiful and holy and perfect, and he put people in it, and they were supposed to live in relationship with him, but they broke it. There's something wrong with the human heart. Not just their heart, but ours. It says, but they have gone in search of many schemes, many evil intentions. Honestly, that hasn't changed. We all have schemes. If I could achieve more, understand more, control more, have more, do this, fill in the blank. But none of those things give us peace. None of those things succeed. None of those things are eternal, which God for sure is. If you've gotten this far, let me know in the comments, but I have one more challenge for you. It says in verse 13, consider. That's the second time we've seen this word just in our little study here. Consider. Think about. Pay attention to what God has done. Who, this is a rhetorical question, who can straighten what he has made crooked? If you think about a road, we want it to be straight. We want it under our control. We want it to be as fast and quick as we can. We want to get through adversity. We don't want to go through hard things. We just want this life to be easy. But God has given us crooked paths. There's parts of our path that are straight. There's parts that are loop-de-loops. There's parts that are dead ends. There's parts that are detours. There's parts that are all kinds of windy. We cannot control those things. The crooked things are not always fun. They're not usually fun. They're the confusing, the painful, the uncomfortable things that we want to skip. But my challenge is, how do we deal with the crooked things? This has come full circle because 13 leads into 14. When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider God made both. God made straight paths. God made crooked paths. And they all help us to learn more about him, reveal to ourselves who we believe God to be, and how we respond. It builds our character. We realize like, whoa, when I hit the crooked path, I freak out. I have anger. I do all of these things, and God is forming you in the uncomfortable moments. And so lean in, love him, fear him. This is a wild journey. The road isn't going to be straight, but it's better with Jesus, for sure. I'll see you tomorrow for Ecclesiastes chapter 8. Bye.